Hi guys, it's Ritvi, and we're here with the highlights from our tier list from the week before with our anniversary stream. So talk in the comments how you feel about the games we've shown on this list, and be sure to check out our streams going forward for any more fun events. And here we go! So, we have ourselves our tier list here. Now, you can see there's a good, over the year, we've played a lot more games than we have finished, because we've still got a couple more games that we're playing on the YouTube channel right now, and we've got 2 games we've been playing on stream. So obviously, they're not going to count. So the games are Iron Harvest, the first Resident Evil, Neverwinter Nights, Metro Last Light, Silent Hill 2, and Happy Humble's Burger Farm. These are the games that will not be featured on this list because they're still in progress, even though I know Silent Hill 2 is quite close to being completed. So we have a total of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 games we finished over the course of this year. Granted, some of them were a lot longer than I'd expected. Like I said, some of them were shorter. We probably would have got through maybe 1 or 2 more extra games. That's just the way of it. So I will be going through each of the games. We will talk about, I'll talk about my experiences with them, how I felt playing them, and whether they'll fit into any of the 1 or the 4 categories below or beside me. So obviously we have the good category games I will recommend, which means play it. This was a fantastic experience. 2 games that were fun. I enjoyed my time with them. I had a fun blast. Still good. 2 games that were alright, which was just, the experience was fine. Nothing really amazing, nothing awful. And games that were just bad. Just, yeah, straight up bad. Just don't bother. Do not pick these, or don't play them. They're not worth it. So I'm just going to get rid of them. There we go, so I can see a bit better. And so we will start off in the order in which we played them. And of course, that does mean we start with Look Outside. And this is a RPG horror game. It was developed in the RPG engine, and it is kind of very similar to any of the turn-based RPGs out there, or like a JRPG in a way. And honestly, the first game I played, and it was one of the best experiences I've had playing. The biggest thing is the art style and the soundtrack that this game has. I love the sprites that they use in the game. Like I said, it takes on an eldritch body horror kind of feel, and it is something I have absolutely enjoyed. It's a fun experience to play. The exploration of the whole apartment, okay, so it captures that as well, is incredibly fun, going between floors, each seeing the effects of an entity that has warped the entire planet, just because you looked at them. And you can take up to 3 other companions, load them up with items and weapons, and engage in turn-based combat against creatures that were once your apartment friends. And this is a game that I definitely recommend, especially if you love old-style RPGs, and you really love the visuals of a very fun body horror. And of course, you will see that later on as we will play it. This is the first game we played. It will be the game we will play later on after we're done with this. This was a incredibly fun experience playing this. Granted, my experience playing was, I had some of the worst RNG going for the time. I think it took me so long to get really good team setup, and I wasn't utilizing one of the companions very well, who at the time was an incredibly powerful character. But eventually, once I started getting my team together, my items, the game was feeling so good. It was challenging. Granted, they've added more difficulty now, and they've updated it about, well, it's 2.3 now. It has had many updates since we played, because I played originally on the 1.5 patch. So there's been a lot of improvements, a lot of adjustments to balance, a new difficulty, new areas added. and also new music added to bosses. So that'll be exciting to experience that later on when we get to it. Evening, hun, how you feeling? How's my little peafowl feeling? Ah, you're coming in with the emotes. But no, Look Outside is a game I will recommend. If you're an RPG fan, if you're a horror fan, you got to play this game. It is an incredibly fun game. It can be tense at times, but it is amazing. Oh, I'm glad you're feeling a little bit better. And what do you mean? That's what I called you, a peafowl, right? Yeah? Now, the next game we're going on to, and that is Quake 4. I started playing this towards the end of my Look Outside playthrough. I was doing this is when I started to do 2 videos a week. This one, I've played this one many years before. I had this on the old Xbox 360 days, and part of me was just thought to play it. There wasn't any real reason behind it besides of just, could be fun. And it is. It's still, to this day, I still find it just a fun game to run around and just blow up Strug with. Most of the weapons you have feel fun. Like I said, the story, simple. But it's the blend of the FPS with the kind of horror elements that was going around at that time of the year with between Doom and Quake 4. And I think it surprisingly still holds up very well looks-wise and feel-wise. Granted, it's not that long. I think I did each act within about an hour to an hour and a half to 2 hours. So still decent length. And it still has one of the most shocking scenes for in gaming, for the time especially. Now, granted, it's probably not as shocking if it was, especially compared to the games nowadays, with some of the levels of gore you see now. I can only imagine what this game would be like with current gen graphics. I think the strugification scene at the start of Act 2 would definitely be far more disturbing now than it was even then. But again, it was another concept that was not seen very often, and very appreciated, as it gave just a changed perspective, and did alter the gameplay slightly. Not by much, but still a nice attempt at something regardless. And that's why I kind of put this in the games that were fun category. It's a game you can just shut your brain off for and just enjoy. Granted, there's a multiplayer. Granted, that multiplayer is dead. Obviously, it was dead that time. Anything with a maker could just get done, probably. I mean, considering that you got the Hellraiser game coming out, that looks like that's gonna be rather graphic. I want to play that. Definitely not going to be playing that on stream or for videos for sure. But I still feel like it would. I don't know. You couldn't really tone it down. That scene in question, you'd have to do a lot to tone that down just to hit the context of everything. There's a purpose behind the strugification scene. But again, it's still a fun game. I had it on the Xbox Game Pass, so if you do have the Game Pass, give it a go. It's still fun. A fun little shoot 'em up with moments of spooky, sort of horror-y parts. Definitely worth it. Oh, now we're coming to the peak horror experience. So, yes, I'm just going to put it straight up there. Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Yeah, it was very, very old school. No, Amnesia: The Dark Descent. What more can I say? It's a reason Amnesia became as big as it did. The game, honestly, even now, to this day, that game has aged still so well. It's still so good now. I never really had any technical issues with it, and honestly, even then, it still looks great. The atmosphere of the game sets, especially with the sound, even like when you're not really against monsters, the sounds and atmosphere still will make you feel tense. Like, no matter what, you're never safe. And that's what I loved about it. And even when, like I said, some of the puzzles were quite, well, like I said, intricate, but still, they were still fun to do. But we're not going to talk about the window part. We're not talking about the window part. The window part I spent half an hour trying to figure out. That was just on me. But again, it's a game that's not, it wasn't too hard. It wasn't that hard. There were moments of slip up, yes. Moments of my own stupidity, yes. But it wasn't difficult to the point of frustration. It was still had challenge, but still fun. And it's also, it proves why it became such a big sensation in the old school YouTube scene. It's a game that is, like I said, it is just lightning in a bottle. This was a really incredibly good horror game. Interesting story. And again, the whole, once you unravel everything, it kind of is like, oh wow, you did messed up things just for this. And I really liked it. Granted, there was a lot of male bodies lying around. We won't talk about it. And the creature design was creepy, but also really good. It's still one, like I said, I still think about this game. It's incredibly fun. And again, mod support is one thing that I will always appreciate, which is what this game does, because you can download so many mods for different experiences and whatnot. So, like I said, it is one I always recommend. If there's any horror game, Amnesia's to play. It doesn't feel like you're being stretched too much resources. If you keep track of everything, you'll be fine. Don't waste all your resources in one go, you'll be good. And when we start up, we must go down. Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs, is going in games that were just bad. The biggest problems, with an S right at the end, it took away the inventory system of the first game. We'd lost our limited fuel for our lanterns. The lantern was just unlimited fuel. And there's only two actual encounters with the pigs that aren't scripted. And one of them really didn't feel any. There wasn't really. I just skipped through the whole thing. This first one I had, the first encounter, yeah, it only scared me because it didn't realize it walked around in a crate behind me and snuck up on me. The next biggest thing is the game is it took me just about 3 hours to complete. It was so short. I was quite, like I said, if you watch the video, got a mod. Well, the original Amnesia, that's, wow, yeah, that's incredibly impressive. And that, again, well, yeah, because again, many other games that's happened to as well, so it goes to show, enough passion can get you in a way to get an actual game developed. But considering the original developers of Amnesia didn't do A Machine for Pigs, makes it feel a lot worse. I literally called the twist midway through the game instantly before it even happened. And it wasn't really, like I said, the atmosphere was cool. It was a nice environment, but that was about it. It didn't feel good at all, and the short length really did ruin it for me. I still feel like it's the worst of Amnesias for me. Though granted, the next one does come very close. It was not a great game. And I'm quite glad it's really cheap. I got it really cheap on Steam for part of sales. But as we move on, we come across one that is a very prized possession to me. We have Dawn of War, the definitive edition. If you are, I'm just going to say this. Oh, Machine for Pigs was a mod. Oh god, okay, but it should have probably stayed a mod then. Yeah, Steam sales. Yeah, I'll have to look at that afterwards. But no, Dawn of War Definitive Edition. I'm putting that straight into games I recommend. If you're an RTS fan, if you are a Warhammer fan, if you are a Dawn of War fan, you should get this. This is a remaster of base Dawn of War with all 3 of its expansions, all in one game. The biggest thing I had, the first thing I saw when the game was revealed, oh, the resolutions are gonna be so much better. This trailer, the remake trailer of the game looked so much better. And the fact of, when I said going back to games, playing games from the early 2000s, they don't always fit the resolution of the monitors. And of course, especially when you got 2 monitors, you see it pop in, everything moves to the other screen, and you just have to completely minimize and pop out, hope it doesn't crash. That was one of my big gripes. But also, having all 4 campaigns in one, so nice to have. And then, again, skirmishes, all 9 factions are in the game. One of the few Dawn of War games that has almost all the factions at the time. The game is still being supported now. It is, only recently got an update, another multiplayer balancing update the last couple of days. And I have played this a bunch. I've played the originals a bunch. This was part of my childhood. Getting to experience it again, slightly more with more updated textures and graphics. Having it all in one convenient little package. And again, mod support. The game had pushed for mod support because, again, with Dawn of War, there are 2 very big game mods out there. Unification and Ultimate Apocalypse. Very big, very popular gameplay additional mods. So having support for them, knowing that they will be able to be popped straight into Definitive Edition, even better. And that's why I'm saying that as a Warhammer fan, as a Dawn of War fan, and as an RTS fan, this is a game you should get. Granted, the Soulstorm campaign isn't the best. But I can excuse that a bit more. It's just got boring. I can excuse that because the rest of the package is just that good. You can't deny that this was like I said, this was a well-deserved victory for a remaster of a game. There's not much more I can say. It was an amazing experience. I still play now. I still play the base game. I still play the mods. It's worth it. Oh god, yeah, no. Yeah, I've still got games in my library that have been sat there for a very long time. God knows how many. God knows how many at this point. So we're gonna move on. We're moving on. We got Battlefield 6. Now, I only played this briefly, and it was part of our first Blue Support Friday. But I suppose now I could call it the Fox Support Friday, or Fox Support Friday. I don't know yet. Again, Battlefield 6 was a great return to form game for Battlefield. I've played from Battlefield Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1, and I played a bit of Battlefield 5. Though, granted, it wasn't the best. I never played the 2042 or 2142, I'm not sure whichever one it was. I never played that one. It was an absolute mess from what I heard, and it's a good thing I avoided it. Battlefield 6 did take a nice step back and kind of focus on what made it good. I put it in the game that was fun category. Yeah, well, I think the problem was because you played just as Season 1 had come out, and there were people who were a bit with Season 1. Like, some of the maps were okay, and like I said, I was playing quite a bit off video as well. But by the time, it was just starting to get a little bit, like I said, a bit boring. Now, granted, it's had 2 seasons since then. Season 2, I heard was alright. Season 3, I've not heard much about. But the biggest problem was it was a grind to get unlocks, for, especially for your guns. And unfortunately, that's where a lot of bot lobbies opened up. But the gameplay itself, it was still a fun game. I still enjoyed playing this game. And like I said, having the class system was good, though granted, having support be both ammo and health bringer, it was fine. Just yeah, a bit different from having support being health and assault being ammo giver as well. Not not the worst change, but yeah. And the thing was also the maps. They just didn't feel the best at times, but some maps, there was two maps in particular I didn't like. And I think they were the desert ones in the deserts. I don't know what it is with me in deserts, having really awful times with people hiding tops of buildings or sniper alleys. Seems to be a running trend in Battlefield games. Again, some of the maps were fine. It just wasn't. It was doing good things. It just kind of burnt out a bit. I kind of guess, yeah, burnt out a bit from trying to enjoy it. Still not an awful game, still a good game, and I like the direction it took. And like I said, the game felt fun, guns felt really good, and they were, like I said, cool to look at, a lot better than Battlefield 5 and 1, which didn't have as many guns. As like I said, when you look at Battlefield 4, that game had so many guns, it's ridiculous. But that's why I put the fun in. Like, maybe at one point, maybe I'll reinstall it to try and give it another go, but it's about like 110 gigabytes right now. That's a lot of hard drive space, you know? It's hard to try and give that kind of game, especially because it's a live service, that much hard drive space. They just love to sap up most of it. But now we move on to our first Foxo game. And the kind of part, basically when I kind of started to go towards the Foxo brand. So Spirit of the North. Very simple platform kind of game. With a very cute fox. Again, the game was fun. Granted, there wasn't really as much story to the game. It's not a cult, hun. You're just jealous. It was a fun enough game, and it was, like I said, how it kind of told its own story is, like I said, through the actions of your fox. And yes, there were points that I did kind of make me kind of just tear up. And like it was like I said, I enjoyed playing it. It's very simple, straightforward. There was a squish fox. This is an actual fox with spirit fox powers. And yeah, the spirit fox mechanic was a really nice addition to puzzles. And I did really enjoy the game. It was one of the, I did want to know more about the world. It left a lot open, especially when you're going through and you're just seeing how the world looks, the destruction, what there could have, was there a war with all these dead bodies? What am I doing with you as a spirit fox, oh friend? Where are we going? What are we doing? And they were questions I never really got answers to, and I did want to know more about the world. But thankfully, like I say, it's one of those, I didn't have to wait too long, thankfully. Because I did, literally, as we finished, we did move on, which is a rather good thing. But it's still fun, a fun, cute little puzzle, not puzzle, platform game. Lovely environments, cute aesthetic, and a lovable little fox. What more can you ask for? Ah, here's the amnesia that people apparently was supposed to be the worst amnesia out there. And that is Amnesia Rebirth. Right, where do I start with this game? So, truth be told, to start with the game, I did enjoy it. I don't want to ask for burbs. I don't want no burbs. I want foxos. Amnesia Rebirth starts out as an interesting game. I did quite enjoy the start of it. Oh, I'll add that to the list. I'm adding that to the list then. Endling Extinction is Forever. I'll add that to the list. I could always do more Foxo games to play. But no, Amnesia Rebirth, it did start out. I did start quite enjoying it to begin with. The big thing I didn't enjoy was, like I said, starting out with matches. The matches, I went through those so fast. I felt like the balancing of the resource management was a lot worse than in the Dark Descent. I felt like I was running out of stuff quite, or coming close to running out of it rather quickly, especially in the matches, because you don't want to be in the darkness too long. The next thing I liked about it was, again, part of the story, and the introduction of this other world. Like, I was getting interested. I was getting intrigued in this. Where it lost me was definitely nearing the end, the last few hours. There was a particular enemy type that would just auto-lock onto me, and would just, yeah, instantly almost end me quickly, and just caused a lot of frustration. The Wendigo-like creature that we see for quite a good chunk of it was fun enough, but problems started to arise then. It felt a bit more. Unlike the first, you could at least hide. It's still prowling, but with this, it felt more like it had taken too many liberties from Outlast. Oh, thank you for the stretch, BD. Oh, but because there were a lot of chase sections between you and this Wendigo creature. I've already forgotten most of it, but you were just doing a lot of straight running. Like, you couldn't really. There wasn't as many hiding options compared to when you play the first Amnesia. And again, the endings, all three endings are quite depressing, to be honest. Because you're either driven mad or you die. And given that there's a weird curse on you, that you just end up going feral, that you see around for see through the entire game. Because it doesn't count as a death screen. You just go feral, go back, and then wake up. It was okay. Like, I personally don't think it's the worst Amnesia game, but it's not a good one. It had moments of it, but it just felt alright. So that's why I'm popping it in the games of alright category. It didn't really blow me away like the Dark Descent did, but it didn't really frustrate me anywhere near enough as the Machine for Pigs did. And that goes to show, like, it had good moments. It felt a bit, in parts, especially in the chases, it wasn't Amnesia. It felt like Outlast or any other horror game like that. Just run and hope for the best. Oh, do the thing while you're being chased. Okay, cool, carry on. Next chase sequence, go. Puzzle, okay, run. Chase scene. It just wasn't that. It wasn't as amazing, and it did kind of wear me out a bit. But now we come to the saving grace, and that is Amnesia the Bunker. And I will say, I'm gonna pop this in. I'm gonna pop this in ahead. Actually, I'm gonna pop that these, because I'm a huge Warhammer nerd. I will do what I want. I'll be the most I recommend. Amnesia the Bunker, I feel, is currently the best Amnesia game out there. It is a tight, contained story in a very small area. Granted, it was surprisingly short because I had a game-breaking bug that I had to restart the entire game, which is why it seemed like it was longer. But the concept of being stuck in a World War I bunker with a creature that is hiding in the walls, and anything you do, it will be there, was amazing. It was an amazing idea. Hey, we don't talk about that here. We don't talk about that here. We don't talk about the Warhammer. No, definitely not. Totally. But no, The first shot the first real jump scare I had in the game was because I decided to run when it was nearby. It burst out of the wall and scared the crap out of me. And that kind of pointed out that you kind of do need to be careful. You can't just run around the whole map, even with the lights on. Because again, you got to use fuel to maintain the light, to keep the lights on. Because if you don't keep the lights on, the creature will roam in the bunker with you. And it's a honestly, I thought it was an amazing time. So much tension, all the noises, which what made the first game great, were used amazingly here. The 4 sections required you had to do it. There's a lot of backtracking, but it made sense because your end goal was to get out of the bunker alive. And it was a fun time, tense time, and it did give me a lot of good scares. And like I said, running out of when you know you're trying to rush for fuel, and then you grab fuel, you gotta head back, but you hear the generator going, and then you just hear the roar of that monster coming through the walls. Oh, you know you are done for. Not good for you. And also the fact that there's also higher difficulty, put more difficulties in this one to be even harder. Your resources are less. Your save would require you to use fuel, which I didn't do, thankfully. And you can even randomize location of items, just to make each playthrough a lot different than others, which would make it fun for good randomized challenges. Maybe that's an idea for another time, because again, I could do a harder difficulty, and maybe put the randomizers on it to see if I can do that. Hey, maybe next year we'll do that. Or maybe, if we hit any of our big milestones, maybe we'll do that. But still, like I said, an amazing sequel. And a good legacy to hold for Amnesia. No, they really do. Again, like I said, it's a random one for the endgame plus, but again, it just helps. It just makes the playthrough a lot differently, because otherwise, if you keep it the same, you're just going to run through easily. With that, the shotgun could be well, not the shotgun, like each key item could be different spots. Locker codes could be somewhere completely different. And now we come to the next in our Dawn of War saga trilogy. We have Dawn of War 2. And of course, it's 2 expansions. I'm including the expansion in this. It was just easier. Now, there is no definitive edition yet, because we're getting Company of Heroes Definitive Edition, which is actually quite exciting. Might give that a go. But again, Dawn of War 2 is a vastly different game from the first game. But it does it in a very different but unique kind of way. I still respect Dawn of War 2 for taking a bigger risk that it did, and being a bit different. No base building, and your units are more contained and smaller, so you feel more like a strike force, like a strike squad, than a full army. The stories in each expansion were, quite fun. Mission layout did drag a little bit, the way the mission did do, but I was doing every mission, not just the main, but the side missions too. And I was trying to basically follow the canonical, like, I was following canonical endings here. Like I was doing the same with the original Dawn of War. So, trying to end each game as they should be done. It's still a fun, like I said, the game still holds up now, even with the Elite mod. It's still a great game. I still watch Elite mod castings nowadays, every now and again. And it's just a different level of skill in regards, compared to Dawn of War. The first Dawn of War. It's a different kind of skill level. And again, with the cover mechanics, it adds another layer to it, which I do appreciate. It changes it up significantly. It's completely different, but it's still familiar enough. I will put that in a game I do find is fun. Pop that ahead of Quake 4. I'll move these all around a second. Now again, I'm biased as a Warhammer fan. It's still a fun game. But if you do, like I said, if you get Definitive Edition first, and you're curious about it, play Dawn of War 2 afterwards. Again, can't go wrong with that. another old classic. And it's like I said, there's still people that play it, especially if you play the Elite mod, you can still find players, which is very rare for games of its age. Now, if we get a Dawn of War 2 Definitive Edition, that probably will bump up. That will bump it up to a recommendation. So that means that will get full support. Ah, yes, now we come back to, again, we're not Amnesia, but same developers, Friction Games. And we come to Soma. This was a very interesting game. Did mess with me a lot as I was playing it. So I'm putting it in the it was fun category. It wasn't perfect. I still enjoyed my time. I liked the story. There were just bits and pieces that just eh. Like each section had a different, like I said, each section you went to had a different enemy, which made a nice variation. Only issue is when you did look at them, it's just those shakiness and the fizzling of the camera. It just kind of bugged me a bit, and just trying to get a read on where they could be where they could be at, made it a little bit difficult. Like, I kind of want to peek around a corner and be able to see how close are they? Are they coming towards me? Are they far away? But as soon as you look anywhere in that direction, your vision goes fuzzy as hell. Taking a sip. But it's still a fun game to play. Except for the section towards the end where I had to go through a cave of sea spiders, water spiders. That was not pleasant. For those who don't know, I will say a minor level of arachnophobia. I don't like spiders. And that was just terrifying to go through. Oh my god, no. I made a short of it. I made a short specifically of me going through that, and it was just, oh my god, no. They were surrounding the walls. Oh, awful section. For people who don't like spiders, it's hell. But the whole thing, it makes you question things. It makes you question many things about what's going on. And the choices I had to make for some of the stuff, it was making me think about stuff. The choices I was making. And it made me, like I said, I did honestly start to feel bad for many of the characters we came across. Especially towards the end. Like, the ending's a mixture of tragedy, but happiness at the same time. Just because of the way that the system for your character works. And it was definitely one that I wasn't expecting to feel that way. So again, it's another fun play. So if you want to pick up Soma, do it. It's still a fun game. And now here we come to Spirit of the North 2, the sequel to the first game, and the one that does give me a lot of answers to most of my questions. So I put it in the game that was fun. I put it ahead of the first. It did so much drastically to change how it's completely different from the first game. The first thing is it's open world. It's an open world kind of game. And that was also my biggest problem with the game. But we'll talk about that in a minute. The big change is it actually then brought up the story of the world and the war between all these druid clans, each representing a different animal spirit. As you are the fox, you are the guardian of that world. There were other clans, one for the elk, one for the bird, one for the crow, I think it was, one for the wolf, one for the ram, one for the bear. And you uncover the story more as you go along in the game. And it does absolutely break my heart when I'm playing some of these sections and just goes deep into these moments. Once again, no dialogue. You don't hear any words of dialogue. You'll play entirely just as this fox I can bark and make his little cute fox noises, and your bird companion, and you just go to save each creature. And when you do engage in their boss fights, some of them are actually quite, like the earlier ones are quite fun because they take advantage of the new mechanics you pick up when you play through the game. And then we have got upgrade system. There is an upgrade system, which I don't know if it was really that necessary or not. Again, it just gives like a health upgrade, spirit upgrade, money capacity, spirit capacity, discount on items at the raccoon store, more flying time, but it didn't feel that impact, and that was that useful besides health and energy and spirit energy, maybe money. But the next biggest problem, again, it's the open world for me. At this time, I've been starting to get a lot of open world fatigue because I used to play open world games a lot over the years. I've played a lot of them, but I had started to grow really frustrated and bored with them. And the problem was a lot of the different sections of the open map would repeat. So to go into a cave or dungeon, get an item, go to the main door, which leads to the boss room, unlock, put that in there, go and get another one or two more items, open the door, go and deal the boss. Then there's other things like spirit trees to do or other little things that just repeat a lot. And it was getting to a point I was getting actually really frustrated with that. I was getting really annoyed at it. I was worried I was going to start hating the game because of it. So that's why I made a bit of a decision to say, okay, I'm not going to do the side activities now. I'm going to focus primarily on more or less the main activity, the main story. And honestly, it paid off because the game's beautiful. I love the game. I love being the fox. I even bought the Saber Fox DLC pack to support the Saber Fox charity, because the money from that DLC goes to the charity themselves. And I got to play as the old Finnegan Fox. May he rest in peace. And I at least can say I still enjoyed the game. It's just my own open world exhaustion. It's still a fun game. Like I said, it's a huge improvement on the first game. Yeah, I was trying. That's what I was trying to do to begin with, and I was just like, I want to do all the side content. I want to try and at least get it all done. But that point, by the time I was just done the third area, I was getting fed up with it. It was just all the same. Nothing had really changed. And that was my biggest problem. And also, the wolves. That was the worst boss fight in the game. It was a frustrating time, that boss fight. Yeah, no, it's basically, yeah, Ubisoft is to blame for all of the fatigue of open worldness, I think. And Halo Infinite. They kind of killed it. The open world fatigue is real. Whenever, like I said, every Ubisoft game is an open world, and most of them are open worlds. And it's just, I think I played a lot of them back then, and I do feel it now. And I didn't I had this. That's why I made the decision to say, right, focus on the main story. Don't hate this game. This is a fun game made by a development studio that actually does seem to care. And I was also doing it to support the Saber Fox charity. Or the Saber Fox, the Saber Fox charity. I wanted to, like I said, I paid the DLC because I wanted to support them. And as I said, if it's not clear enough, I'm a fox, so it's obvious I would support the foxes. And of course, playing as Finnegan Fox as himself, he was the biggest fox icon out there on the internet. Unfortunately, we did lose him now, almost 6 months ago. So I didn't want to hate the game, and I wanted to carry on. So I did. And I'm glad I did. Honestly, the story was beautiful. And it did bring a lot of tears to my eyes, many sad moments. But it's such a big glow up from the first game. It's just my own personal bias towards open worlds that just kind of almost killed it for me. Now we move on to my most recent biggest endeavor. My big endeavor is I am playing through all the Resident Evil games right now. And we started, of course, with Resident Evil 0. So we're not playing with the first one, we're playing with what was considered the prequel. This one, again, I've never played any of the older Resident Evils, so I wasn't sure fully what I was going into. You know, an old school survival horror. And the first biggest thing I struggled to get the grips with was the cameraing. Was the camera. I've forgotten. Hey, you had 12 inventory slots. Granted, some items could take up 2 slots. Hello, Wildosis! Welcome in. Yeah, no, you can't go wrong. Again, like I'm saying, it's just the adjustment of getting used to the camera swapping. As someone who's never played many games like that, it was so weird to me. It was just a real adjustment. Eventually, I still stumble now with the first Resident Evil, but it was still, eventually, once I got the hang of it, it was fine. It was still good. And honestly, it was a really fun time. Like, I knew I had a feeling I would enjoy most of these Resident Evils. I did enjoy many of the later ones, except for 5 and 6. They were, not the best. But going back to the originals just felt good. Yeah, the AI. then again, the AI at times never had the best of times. Let's not forget about 5. Yeah, like, it had moments, I think. I can say by the AI, I had that towards the end at the final boss fight. But it still felt really good. The puzzles, the older Resident Evil puzzles, my god, they are just some of the most unexpected things I could ever imagine. I would have noticed even with the first Resident Evil, like, some of the puzzles is like, who the hell designed this and why the hell would you put this on a mansion? What kind of architecture did you find? And safe to say, I was incredibly confused, which again, isn't hard. It's not hard at all. But it's still, I will still put this up in a game that was fun. It had a lot of challenging moments. And probably a lot of moments I put myself into the challenge. Because I struggled so much with health and ammo that whole game. It probably wasn't until the end I got somewhat lucky with ammo, but I made it a struggle for myself. Didn't make it easy. But that also goes to show my level of resource management. Not the best. But still, it was a great start to a very well-respected and incredibly good game series. But also, hello, Wild Doses. Welcome into the Squishfox Sanctuary. Thank you for joining us today. How you doing? At the moment, I'm only doing the main line. I thought about it briefly, because I know about the Revelations. I didn't know about the other 2. And Operation Raccoon City, I didn't want to play anyway. Because, again, also that game you can't find anywhere else now, got removed, but I may look into it, maybe afterwards, but I'm going to focus on the main line first. There's plenty to get through anyway. And besides, Code Veronica's got its remake now confirmed, so maybe we'll wait for that and play it as well. Okay, I'll add that to my list as well. But yeah, no, I'm sweating right here. I've got a fan on, but I'm still sweating. But yeah, I know exactly how you feel. It's been a really hot day. It's probably going to be rough to sleep tonight, but hey, we do what we do. But no, Outbreak, I know of Revelation. Oh, no, I definitely understand that. It's only, like I said, I feel like I'm sticking to my chair, but I had to do it. I said I was going to do this, and I can't really pass up on my first biggest milestone, you know? Ooh. And it's a good way to kind of put myself into this. Like, yeah, I'm going to be sweating a lot. But it's fine. It's all fine. We're here for a good time. I've got some drink. I'm planning to get more in a bit. But we'll do that probably once we finish up here, because we've only got 2 more games. Because, yeah, like I said, just to catch you up, Wild, if you haven't. Yeah, so basically, I've gone through the entirety of this list, and we will then, like I said, we're going to play the first game I ever did play, which will be Look Outside, which is a nice little horror RPG. I'm sure you might, and I'm sure you may be quite curious, interested by it. Quite nice little, like, eldritchy like horror elements. Oh, Wild. Oh, thank you so much, Wild, and oh, thank you both so much. Oh, thank you so much. Like, literally everyone, like, all of you, like, both you and, Dummy, and, like, people who've given the gift subs. Thank you so much. Oh, God. Oh, I'm kind of crying now. Oh, but yes, thank you so much, you two. And like I said, a lot of this, especially in the push the last couple of months, I would say it's a big inspiration from all you, both you, Tiny, and like all of you at the Underrealm. Like, you guys have been a big inspiration. So thank you very much. And I do, like I said, for those of you who don't know, Wildos is a part of the Underrealm VTuber group. And, well, he is one of the leads of that. And yeah, I joined as a community member, just a member of the community, and there are lots of lovely people there who were, like I said, give me advice or help me out, pointing towards doing this content creation. Like, thank you so much. Honestly, you guys are all wonderful. You're all a lovely bunch. Yeah, no, like I said, you're all helpful. Again, like I said, talking to Phantom and getting the idea for the, they were going with the customizable model, and they kind of, showed me the one, and that's how we kind of got here. Because originally, I would still be, if I was still, was it this one? Oh no, I was on the just chat screen. I would still be probably using my reactive image. But yeah, no, like, I think, like I said, the community you guys have, it's a wonderful. I keep doing that again, and it does help. Like I said, people who are just trying to help and get information, there's someone there to help. So thank you very much, and again, thank you, and both you and Tiny, for the gift subs. It means so much. Like I always say, you'd never have to do any. You never have to do anything. You just enjoy, cuddle a squish fox, and just enjoy. But I always will appreciate it from my bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. Okay, and now, sip and breathe. Right. I know you guys do. Like I said, you both do a lot. Like I said, all of Underrealm does. Right, so let's crack back on. We crack on with Metro 2033. And this was a game, like I said, I've played this a few times before. And especially like now with the Redux, it's a fun game. And it's a game that does make me want to pick up the books, because they're based on, like I said, the base of the books, the similar title. Just because I know in the books they're a bit different from how the game is, and I do want to give, like I said, it makes me want to read and learn more about the world of Metro. Honestly, the world that is crafted in this game is amazing, devastating, but amazing. You can kind of see the struggles of people, and it does make you wonder what you're fighting for. Gameplay is fun. The survival elements, again, are also still fun, and the creatures you fight, as well as the enemy factions, very fun. Stealth sections, I suck at the stealth sections. I suck so bad at them. I've had many, many blunders, especially even in Last Light. There's been a number of blunders on the stealth sections. I've had to go gun-ho just because. And again, it's just, wonderful going through each. You know, I'm making again. It's another series I'm trying to go through. Thank you for this stretch and the hydrate, Daffy. And yeah, so you want to start. So the game you start with is Metro 2033. Welcome back, Daffy. Yeah, so Metro 2033 is the first game. You want to then go Metro Last Light, which takes place a year later. Then there's Metro Exodus, and then we have Metro 2039 coming out. I don't know where the VR game takes place. I haven't got that or played it yet. So I don't know where that takes place. And I don't know if I'm going to play it because, I don't know, maybe I might, I'm not sure. Yeah, because no, you did start playing the first Metro on your one stream, didn't you, Wild? I think I remember I was there for that. But no, it's an incredibly fun game, and I still I still enjoy the series. And like I said, I'm working through them all because I never played Metro Exodus, and I'm excited for 2039. Ooh, okay, okay, maybe you're tempting me now, hun. You may be tempting me now, but no, I'm putting this in the games that are fun. It's still a great game. It's not. I wouldn't go and say recommend it. I would still say it's a really fun game. Pick it up when if you want to. Oh wait. Oh, that's right. No, yeah, no, you tried to, yeah, I voted for it. Everyone else voted for whatever else the other option was. That was it. And yeah, I remember that now. And now we come to say we saved the best for last. I'm just gonna put it straight up here. It is Dawn of War 3. It is going in a game that's just bad. I'm convinced this game was not meant to be an RTS. The way the hero system is, I feel like they were planning to make it a MOBA, but then they said, no, we kind of should need to put it as a Dawn of War. We need to make it we need to make an RTS out of it. Because the hero characters, they feel far too flashy and just far too just not Dawn of War. The story itself is painful. Like, honestly, it was the most painful game I've had to play throughout so far. Maybe that in Colonial Marines, I don't know. It was, and I will say this, it's a game that never respects your time. Each mission dragged. It felt painful. Objectives would repeat constantly in one mission. And the requisition per unit is expensive. Like a single tactical squad, I think is the most expensive in any of the Dawn of War, I think. Maybe not with, maybe Dawn of War 2, maybe on par with Dawn of War 2, but you don't make enough requisition to even consider doing that quick enough. And the building slots, the whole buildings for each faction feels stretched for no reason. Space Marines, for example, because I know them, that's a faction I've played the most in these Dawn of War games. 2 buildings, 2 troop-making buildings, each have 3 troops in them. 2 troops in each one are like the same unit, but one's a variation. So, for instance, you have tactical squads and 2 devastators. But tactical squads have upgrades, devastators don't. They just stretched out, made it look bigger than it really is. Honestly, everything about it was just felt wrong. Like, even the voice acting on most of them, like, don't get me wrong, I love the original voice acting for Gabriel Angelos from Dawn of War 1 and 2. I'm not gonna bash the guy in Dawn of War 3. I'm sure he was doing a great job as he could. But when you're used to the voice of Gabriel Angelos, get out. You can't compare. And the rest of them just didn't sound great. I think I had lots of problems with the orcs. The Eldar I thought were alright. Space Marines, And even like the models for each thing just felt clean and just recoil. It felt like they had way too much recoil on them. Like, honestly, this was just a bad game in every way, shape, and form. It was a chore to play, and I hated every moment of it. I even had to replay a bit because one of the videos, the sound was, something happened with the sound and then doubled up. I think I know what happened, but I had to end up replaying that level, and it was one of the second most painful level of the game. And I would never gift this game to my worst enemy. It is that bad. Even mods can't say this. And there's a reason this game died before the fourth faction was added to this game. Oh yeah, it's another thing. Game only had 3 factions. 3 starting faction, with every other game had 4. It's just awful. It is a reason this is people call this the Dawn of War we do not speak of. They treat it like Voldemort. I know this from experience. But I'm glad it's done, and I will never touch it again. I literally, as soon as I was done, I instantly uninstalled it. For good reasons. And I would definitely say avoid this game like a plague. Unless you want to suffer. Then by all means pick it up, but don't do it. It's not worth it. And yes, that is currently my first year of games. And as you can see, a nice spread. I got lucky. And in fairness, I think I'm still pretty lucky, going to be pretty lucky now with the game choices. I've picked really well. Because right now we're playing through Iron Harvest, which is a game I so far enjoyed. Yes, so Dawn of War 4 is apparently going to, if looks, because I'm playing Iron Harvest right now, just to get an idea of it. And so far, I'm really liking Iron Harvest. I like the way it feels, the way it's, like, I'm just loving that game so far. Haven't touched the base building yet, but so far, playing Iron Harvest does make me very confident with Dawn of War 4. I'm hoping that game's going to be so good. It has to be. We need it. Because like I said, we've got Space Marine 2, which I still think is a fantastic game. We just need Dawn of War 4 to come in swinging to be as amazing, and we'll, like I said, I'll be sorted. And that's me sorted for life. But like I said, the more I get into Iron Harvest, I'm sure I will enjoy it more, which is a good sign. But also, yeah, I've still got more Resident Evils to get through. Like I said, I've still got 2, 3, and 4 remakes I've got there, which I'm really looking forward to those. Not looking forward to 5, not looking forward to 6. 7 and 8, like I said, I've played 7, looking forward to that again. And same for 8, and also eventually 9. And then Metro, working through that, looking forward to it. Silent Hill 2, been loving that game. Been loving it so much. And then Neverwinter Nights and Happy Humbles, still, both of those have been so fun. I'm just going to put this final message into this video and just say a big thank you to everyone, to every single one of you who has supported me for my content creation journey. It's crazy to think it's been a year. When I started doing this, I just did it on a random flukes, just wanted to do it. And here we are 1 year later with, like I said, over 1 year of YouTube, and at this time, about 3 weeks of streaming. So it means a lot to have people supporting me for this journey and to support me in every way I can imagine. So an absolute thank you from the bottom of my heart to every single one of you. You all mean a lot to me, and it's nice to have a community to be around. And I hope you all will continue to support me as we continue our journey. And yes, we will make this a yearly tradition now. And of course, by then, we'll hopefully come up with some kind of really funny name for this. So be sure to stick with us as we will continue to upload more and more. And also definitely stream more for sure. So thank you all for joining us at the Squishfox Sanctuary. I hope to see you all again next time.